Okay, good afternoon, everyone. Last class we discussed about mathematical modeling aspects of some of the translational mechanical systems. If we just recapitulate, what we discussed was any of the mechanical systems, may it be a translational mechanical system, may it be a rotational mechanical system, may it be a thermal system, may it be hydraulic and pneumatic system, may it be electrical system. All these systems, physical systems, can be modeled by using certain basic elements, and out of those we started off with the translational mechanical system, and we concluded that translational mechanical systems, any of the translational mechanical systems, can be modeled by using three basic elements. One was spring, second was damper, and third was mass elements. Spring, we said, represents the stiffness like elements. Damper represents damper like characteristics. And mass represents the inertia of a given translational mechanical systems. Today, we'll start with detailed method of representation of these three basic components. To start with, we have springs, which we designate as a spring. As you can see, just try to enlarge this. Spring elements, which are represented by a coil-like spring, this mechanical system proper will have actual spring, or it will have spring-like element, or the element having stiffness. So the representation, it is represented by a spring like this diagrammatically. The applied force is shown like this, right? So the stiffness of a spring is described by the relationship between the forces F used to extend or compress a spring and the resulting extension or compression X. So as we discussed in the last class, all these translational mechanical elements will have force as the input and displacement or velocity or acceleration as the output. So springs, when these are subjected with either tensile force or the compressive force, will have displacement. It will be either extended or it will be retracted. So both the possibilities are there, and those are represented by X. Force is represented by F. In the case of a suspension or compression is proportional to the applied forces, that is a linear spring. So F is proportional to X, and K is the constant of proportionality, which is called as stiffness of the spring. So F is equal to Kx is a mathematical representation of a spring or a spring-like elements. As we said, we are applying force F, and the spring is providing me the displacement. The bigger the value of K, so if we look at this equation, F is equal to Kx. If we solve it for K, K will be equal to F upon X. So the bigger the value of K, the greater the forces have to be to stretch or compress the spring end. So the greater the stiffness. Okay. So if K, stiffness K, which is given by Newton per millimeter, as you can see, as I said, K is equal to F upon X. F is represented, force is represented in Newton, and X is represented in millimeter. So the unit for stiffness is Newton per millimeter. So bigger the value of K, K is equal to F upon X. So more force F will be required to either extend or compress the spring. And smaller the value of K, less force is required to either extend or compress the spring. The object applying the force to stretch the spring is also acted upon by a force, the force being that exerted by the stretch spring, which is Newton's third law of motion. Action and reactions are equal. See, I have a spring I am applying force F, external force F. Now the spring will be reacting. The spring material will try to pull the spring back. This external force is trying to stretch the spring, and the spring material is trying to pull it back, isn't it? So whatever is the applied force, the spring will be experiencing equal and opposite reactive force Fs, let us call it as Fs, which is equal to F. That is called as spring force, right? So the force, this force will be in the opposite direction and equal in the size of the force used to stretch the spring X. So that is the reactive force offered by the spring. So from the spring force equation, we have F is equal to Kx. Diagrammatically, it is represented like this. And you have the change in length X, either extension or compression. So F is equal to Kx, where K is the stiffness of the spring in either in Newton per meter or Newton per millimeter. So force per unit length. So if you solve it for X, X will be equal to F into 1 upon K. So then we have the transfer function. In the earlier lectures, I talked to you about transfer function. Now, if you just have a block diagram representation of a spring like this, inside the box I have written spring. The input is the applied force and the output is displacement X. So the ratio of this output by input is called as transfer function of system. Now one would argue, when the ratio is output upon input, why not to call it as efficiency? Now for efficiency, what is the requirement? The output units and the input units need to be same. So if it is power efficiency, so it will be ratio of output power upon input power, right? But we are calling this as transfer function. Why? Because the output units are millimeter X, displacement X, and the input is force in Newton. The units are different. It is no doubt ratio of output by input, but as the units are different, we call it as transfer function of this given spring, which is nothing but output by input ratio. Then why to call it as transfer function? Simply put, we can say that the force F is transferred as displacement X, isn't it? I am applying force F, and because of that, I am getting displacement X. So because force is transferred as X, we call it as transfer function. Now transfer function is the ratio of output by input. What is the output? Output is X, and what is the input? Input is F. So X upon F is equal to 1 by K. So transfer function of the spring is 1 upon K. We should try to understand this concept. This is very important concept. And as I told you, this modeling, I am going to use it for predicting the behavior or selecting appropriate spring for its functionality. So if I want particular output, let us say 10 millimeter of displacement X, and if I want to find out how much force I need to apply to get this displacement X, what I can do is I can use different values of K, isn't it? So coming back to same equation, X is equal to F into 1 upon K. So if I want to decide, I want to select a spring which can give me 10 millimeter of displacement when I apply a force of 10 Newton, let us say. When I apply a force of 10 Newton, my spring should give me displacement of 10 millimeter. Now, what should be the stiffness of the spring in that case? So, stiffness of the spring will be K will be equal to F upon X, isn't it? Only see here, this will be simpler. F is equal to K into X, right? So, I want to find out what should be the stiffness of the spring K. So, F upon X will be K, right? So, what I said, I want to have displacement of 10 millimeter when I apply force of 10 Newton. So, 10 Newton upon 10 millimeter is 1 Newton per millimeter. The spring stiffness should be 1 Newton per millimeter. So this is how I can decide what should be the stiffness of the spring. This transfer function helps me in arriving at selection of appropriate element property corresponding to my input output requirements. So this is the benefit of transfer function representation. So in the block diagram, which we'll be studying later, in the block diagram representation, how is the representation? On the left hand side, please be attentive. On the left hand side, I have input, and on the right hand side, I have output. Whatever is the parameter, and inside this block, rectangular block, I'll be writing the transfer function value. In this case, it will be 1 upon k. Now, in my spring case, what is the input? Input is F. I am applying the force F. Input is F and output is X. So, on the left hand arrow of the block, I write input F, and on the right hand side, I write output S. And within the block, apart from spring, the name of the element spring, but inside that I should write the transfer function. Transfer function is 1 by k. Now, how to read this block diagram? We should start from left to right. How do I read it? F, left hand side, F into, when I start from left, F into, what is the transfer function of the spring? 1 upon k. F into 1 upon k is equal to x. This is how I should read this block diagram representation. Left hand side element F into 1 upon k. So F into 1 upon k is equal to right hand side is equal to x. So this is how I will be reading the block diagram representation of a spring. So this is how I can make use of representation method by using direct equation F is equal to kx and converting it into transfer function format, and then using a block diagram representation. Okay, so this translational spring we'll study a bit further. I can have one spring, or either I can have one spring-like element, or I can have multiple spring-like elements. Now these multiple springs or multiple spring-like elements can either be in the form of parallel arrangement, or they can be in the form of series arrangement. Okay, so if I have got, see, we are attuned or we are accustomed with this sort of representation being called as parallel systems, isn't it? But as per the book by Francis H. Raven on automatic control engineering, he calls this arrangement as series. It doesn't matter whether you call it as parallel or series. One system you have to follow. Either you call this as parallel arrangement or call this as series arrangement. If you go by Raven's book, it will be called as series. Why? I can justify that later on. Okay. There is a logic why to call it as series arrangement. Okay. Let us come to that later on. So let us call this as parallel arrangement of springs. Two springs are in parallel and the force is applied because of this force F. These springs are subjected to displacement X. And the second arrangement is series arrangement. Here, as per F.H. Raven's book, he calls it as parallel arrangement. Why? We'll discuss later. Now, we have got two springs having stiffness K1 and K2. What is the difference between this parallel arrangement and series arrangement? Here, in this arrangement, this force F was shared by each of the springs equally. Please listen to me very carefully. This force F is shared by K1, spring K1 and K2 equally, right? And both are subjected to displacement X. In this arrangement, both are subjected to displacement X. Whereas in this arrangement, the spring having stiffness K1 and K2, what is happening? The same. Here the force is shared. Here the force remains the same throughout both the springs. In this arrangement, force is same on spring K1 and spring K2, whereas displacement is shared. Spring K1 is subjected to displacement X1 and spring K2 is subjected to displacement X2. So what is the difference? In this, if you call this as parallel arrangement, in this parallel arrangement, force is shared and displacement remains the same. Both are subjected to displacement x. Whereas in this series arrangement, force remains the same, whereas displacement is shared. I repeat, remember this. You call it as series or parallel, doesn't matter. But remember this, in this arrangement, if we call this as parallel arrangement, force is shared and displacement remains the same. If we call this a series arrangement, force is shared. Sorry, force is same. Here displacement is same. Here force is same. Here displacement is same. Whereas in this series arrangement, displacement is shared. So this is the difference between parallel arrangement and series arrangements of springs. Let us see the equations related to this in the next class. We'll just discuss it once again tomorrow and we'll clarify the concept of parallel springs and series springs. And this is important because in my mechanical systems arrangement, I need not necessarily have only one spring. I'll have multiple springs, or I will have multiple spring-like elements. I will have multiple stiffness-like elements, or I'll have different multiple components having different stiffnesses. So I need to know what will be the effective equations of operations if the springs are parallel or the stiffness elements are parallel, and if the stiffness elements are in series. Friends, we'll stop for